Welcome into Catholic Theologian Plays. This is when we play a game from a Catholic perspective, when we look into the Catholic history and the Catholic moral theology of a game. And today we are playing Manor Lords. It's a very fascinating game that I think the builder of the game does remarkably well. It's a period. This game takes place during a period of time when the relationship that a person had with their church was essential. The period of time that Manor Lords is set in is feudalism, when you had lords, ladies, vassals, peasants, and it's a time in history where we Catholics, I think we romanticize a little bit. We look at this time from the context of councils, of theology. But one thing we don't consider is just how difficult it was for many people to live during this time. People starved. People froze. They didn't have firewood. They weren't able to gather food. Communities had to come together and share resources just to make it through the season. There was a lot of sharing going on in the communities as well. The relationship that the vassal had with his peasants, the invasion of wars, conflicts going on, having to volunteer or be trained to fight in invasion, renegades running about, stealing things. It was just a time that I think we romanticize, but we don't realize how difficult it was. But at the center of the community, these people during feudalism, they built parishes and monasteries, and the church community was the center of life. And this is one thing I think Manor Lords does remarkably well. I think it gets right how the Catholic Church, the influence that it had over community. They get right to the fact that it was families who really kept the church going in these parishes, in these communities. So we're going to take a look at this game, Manor Lords, and Catholic Theologian Plays. We're going to take a look at the history. We're going to take a look at the moral theology that is relevant here. So we're going to load up a game that I've developed up to the point where the community is just about ready to build a church. So I'm going to show you around the community, and we're going to continue the effort to build the church in this community. I called this little village that we built Holy Family. So let me show you around. So this is Holy Family Community. And this is the area in which it is set. These are the different territories, and this is us here in red. And it was unfortunate that the game gave us, I think, one of the most difficult territories to play. It has limited resources, is very small. If this community is going to grow, it has no choice really but to expand into some other territories, which may involve some sort of military force. Now notice how they built this plot of land up, and it's in the shape of a cross. And so this is essential to this community because they are a Dominican community. They've come here with some Dominican fathers, and they've built up this community. They started here at this little settlement here. Is where they started. They still have some plies from there. And from there, they just went out and they expanded. They built roads. They built some farmland here. And so they've been here only for just a few months. They came here in March and now it's July and they've done a lot of work. They built up a lot of plots of land. And right over here is where they're going to build their church. But a lot of things are going on in the community. You have some logging camps. You have some foraging over here. You have some hunting over here. They haven't really taken advantage of the resources to mine for clay or stones. Because there's only 18 people here in the community, which means there's 10 families, a good approval rate. They are building up some resources pretty well. And the great thing about Manor lords, I think they also do well, is just the fact that they get family right. Let me see, we're running out of fuel. Let me pause the game for a moment as we take care of that. But here is the hunting grounds. And let me see if I can show you the family here. So during feudalism, during medieval times, it wouldn't have been like today where, you have a job and that's your job. Or during this time, it would have been a family. A family is what would have worked the land, would have hunted, would have gathered. A father and a son. So let me show you one of the families that we have working here at Holy Family. And these are the plots of land. And what the community did, they built up these plots of land, and each plot of land also has some of the larger ones. They also have chicken coops attached to them. So see this family here, they're growing chickens as well. So this here is the marketplace. This whole area here in the center of the crucifix is going to be the marketplace. So you have the potential to have about 101 stalls. So eventually you can imagine once they get a community built up, if they make it, this is going to be the center of community life. And over here is going to be the church that they're going to build. So let me see if I can introduce you to some of the families who are working here, who are lived here, who have settled here. I found some. So this is Freeland. He's the ox transporter.
Come on, laddie. Come on.
And you see here they are building a farmhouse, which is going to be essential because we have to grow a lot of wheat. Let me turn down the volume here. So we have two people who are unassigned, which means their job is to build the things that we need. And then Freeland, he's assigned here to be a transporter. Great news, we just had a new family join the community. We got construction finished on the firewood stall. So as you saw earlier, we are running out of fuel. So we're going to be playing according to the future Saint Carlo Acutis rule. Which means we're not going to play this game for more than an hour. So looks like we are making firewood. It looks like we're not saving it up for some reason. So, but like I said, the goal here is to build a church as soon as possible, which means that we have to get someone assigned here to start making planks. Because we're going to need about 20 planks to build a church here. Yeah, we're going to need 5 pieces of wood, 20 planks, and 10 stones. And you look up here, we don't have any planks so far. But let me take you down to where we're actually going to build the church. This is what I'm really excited about. So there is the market stall. And right over here is where we're going to build the church for the Dominican fathers. Of the order of preachers who are coming here, or they're already here. That we're just having mass inside the homes now. But right here is where we're going to build the church. Let's walk over to the marketplace. Meet some people here.
Leather, perfect for boots, belts, and, well, anything really.
Step right up.
Leather.
So we got a leather stall here. We got the firewood stall.
Come on.
Come all.
So it looks like we're doing a really good job of firewood. She's selling berries, and so this is the Holy Family Community. All right, let's jump back up here and see if we can make some progress towards building the church here. So we'll have to get some planks going pretty fast here. It's August. Let's take a look at the farmhouse. That's going to have to wait until we get more families, because we got to start building some planks, get some planks going. Let's see if I could pull the person who was foraging. I can't pull them yet. Really, I should get another person assigned, but let me check to see. Yeah, they have 48 out of 50 available. But you see that it's getting late in the year, so it's not much left to forage. So you see in a saw pit, even though you see looks like I assigned a person, but what I assigned was a family. As I said, this is always a family affair. So we have Hams and Kongut and Hams again. So they're all working. Hands like he's going home. Maybe he's kind of lazy. The other two are transporting. Hopefully they're transporting wood over here to be turned into planks. So because I did that, it just left me one family. The good news is that we should have more family moving in because we have a high approval rate. So which means the community is healthy. It has water. It has markets. It has food. It has firewood. We have everything that people need to really start moving here. But also, the bandits are stealing our goods. We're running out of food. just from theft. And again, this is like another real condition of early settlements during the feudal times. You didn't have police, you didn't have sheriffs. People just had to take care of themselves. All right, great. Looks like one of our mules, we have two mules actually. Looks like one of them just delivered a log, and they are going to turn that into our first plank. So, and we need 20. So let's speed this up, and then hopefully nothing crazy happens. We just have to keep a look and make sure we have enough food and fuel to last through the winter. So eventually what's going to happen, I'm going to have to pull this person from foraging and put them perhaps into the fire pit. Or I actually could pull, I think I have two people working the hitching post. I may have pulled a hitch post person and put them in the firewood. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Because I'm not really building a lot of things now. So we can increase our firewood. All right, let's speed the game up a little bit. All right, we got 15 planks so far. That is excellent. So we are just 5 planks away from being able to build our church and our community. So I know everyone is completely excited about this time. This is going to be a big deal for this young community. They're about to have their first church, and it's really going to change everything. More people are going to move into the community. Our approval rating is going to skyrocket, and we're going to keep building planks because next we need a manor for our Lord.
You'll not find finer wares anywhere else.
They're making a firewood over here. Let's see who this family is making a firewood. Oh, we got 2 families here. Doing a great job. And it looks like we have 2 months of firewood now, thanks to all their hard work. So let's come over here. See our family who are making the planks. Doing a great job. Doing a great job. Let's see what we have here. Awesome. We have 25 planks. So let's start the process of building the church. This is such a huge deal. I'm so proud of this community. So let's go over here. You know, I did want to comment. I think some people would be surprised when they take a look at this game and they see a square and compass. And they instantly just think of Freemasonry. But now think of Freemasonry doesn't come along till about 1716, 1717. So again, Manor lords get this, they get the symbol right. Because long before Freemasonry became a fraternal, quasi-religious organization, it was just a guild, and they used this symbol. And so when Freemasonry transitions from being a guild to being a more philosophical religion, fraternity, they take with them, you know, the members, the language, the way to speak about things, the initiation rites, Also the signs and symbols. So there's nothing nefarious about this. It's just historically accurate. Again, Manor Lords gets it right. So let's go ahead and build our church. It's going to be just a wooden church at first, but we can upgrade it later to being a stone church. So let's build it here. Right across from the marketplace, which is, if you notice, a lot of older communities throughout Europe. This is how it was. You had your church, and right next to your church was a marketplace. So this is as historically accurate as we can be. So, and let's connect some roads coming into the church.
Keep your half warm.
I'll leave that one there. But over here, what I want to do, I want to turn this area into a shrine.
Come one, come all. Feast your eyes on our fine selection. Get to work. Come one, come all. Feast your
And
eyes on our fine selection.
we're going to take this to the highest level because we want to build this as soon as possible.
Leather, leather. Perfect. for
So we already have people down here working. We have one family.
Really. Leather, leather.
And I think I need to take my forager person and reassign them to the harvest because September through November is time for harvesting, plowing, and sowing. So it's August now, so I got a little bit longer. Got a few days here. So let's come back down and take a look at the church. I might have to pull summons from someone else, from somewhere else as well. Let's take a look and see what our family is doing here. That's building the church. So let's see. It all depends upon delivery. We're just not doing good delivery. We don't have anything that we need here yet. We have it assigned. We have it encumbered, but we don't have it. Because it looks like we just have one mule working. Because like I said, I did pull somebody from the mule. So let me... So we got some firewood. I don't really pull any more from firewood though. Let's see who I can reassign. Let me check. I need to reassign someone. Oh, let me check the granary. I don't have anyone at the granary. I do have someone at the tannery. But if I pull them, that means that our score for clothes may go down. So it's just really difficult managing all these different resources. So let me see how much okay. I'm gonna pull him for now. Okay. I'm gonna get him assigned over here at the hitching post. So we can get some faster deliveries over here at the church. Because we need lots of stone and we need these planks over here. Alright, so let's speed this up a little bit, see how it works out. But we have to keep monitoring our wood because we need wood to keep continuing to build firewood and planks. So let's keep an eye on our timber.
Said, impossible.
All right, so I see one mule working. Another mule should be coming by soon. And one thing I think a lot of people get wrong with manor lords is you want to have your logging camps and your planks, you want to have it near the areas that you're building. I know it's a lot of people who play this game, they put the people in the community at disadvantage by having their resources too far away. Okay, we got another mule coming. Alright. So we're getting closer. We don't have the stones yet.
Leather, leather. Come one, come all. Feast your eyes on our fine selection. The finest hides in all the land. Why do I have to carry this alone?
Looks like they laid out the dimensions of the church. Over here would be the altar. And then back here is where we will build the shrine. This is going to be a shrine to the Holy Family Shrine.
Shy, good sirs and ladies.
All right, let's take a look at the resources. Everything looks good. All right, not only can we actually, I think we may have the resources also, probably not to build the home for our Lord. Initially, it would have been ideal to go here on the crucifix. It would have been on the left hand instead of the right hand, the other side of the marketplace. But we have a resource here that's going to be there for quite a while. All right, so the next best opportunity is in this area here. So let's see if we had the resources to build. Looks like we do. We actually can't put it there, but we'll destroy that resource. Let's go ahead and put the manor here. Oh, no, I'm going to build a road because I don't want it facing that way, actually. Let's build a road here. These roads that we're building for the manor house actually will become gateways to enter.
You'll not find finer wares anywhere else.
Let me do this, see if I connect it this way. All right, there we go. Okay, we're not going to focus on that one. Let's go ahead and build the castle walls. I like that round shape of the wall as well. We'll build some outer towers. And that will allow us to expand even further. And this is an indie game. So it doesn't really afford us the opportunity to there are some modules that are just underdeveloped, such as the tax office. It doesn't actually do anything yet. All right. None of that is going to happen at the moment because we don't have the resources. That was just pretty much just strategic planning, the strategic planning plan for a future build. So we got some bad weather here, but everyone's still down here building. All right, let's take a look at our resources. So we have the 11 months of food, 4 months of fuel, which is enough to get us through the winter. So that's a good place to be. Our approval rating is still doing okay. It's really going to jump up a lot once we get a church. Timber and planks look excellent. All right, so let's speed it up. All our timber is here. We're missing 2 planks, and we need a lot of stone. It looks like the stone is coming now. All our planks are here, so we're pretty close to being able to actually start building the church. So we got some framing. Framing looks excellent.
You'll not find finer wares anywhere else.
We're just missing one stone. Wow, this is coming along very fast. Very happy about this progress.
That axe really needs some sharpening.
You get a glimpse of the inside of the church. Oh yeah, inside looks excellent. See, the altar is going to be over here.
Well, perhaps it was simply a bad day. These things do happen from time to time.
I think they're done. We have a church. Awesome. This is a glorious day for our community. A glorious day. We finally have a church.
Step right up and sample.
And it is beautiful. Beautiful wooden church. And a shrine is to the blessed, to the Holy Family is completed as well. Right outside the church. Let's get a close-up of that. Let's bring in our Lord to take a look at the shrine.
Come along, lad.
Looks like people are going to mass already. So fascinating. Excellent. And Manor really did this right. All right, so let's get the church activated. We're going to have the sign of family. You see, an upgrade is possible. We need more stone. We actually need some clay tiles for the roof. We need more planks. We're not mining clay now, so we don't even have the means to do that. So, all right. So now that we have done that, let me go take the person off of the hitch and get him reassigned to fuel. We have 2 people there already, so let's get him assigned over here to the farmhouse. We need a lot more people than that for farming. So, but we're doing the best we can do. And all we can do at this point really is just really start building our community around the church. So let's get about the work of doing that. And let's go ahead and set the manor house to the highest, because then we'll be able to raise taxes and set tithes for the community. So let's see where we're going to build our next group of homes. So the church is here. So we want this in medieval times and throughout the world. It used to be the case that your church was a center of community life. And by feudalism, we just mean just the historical graphic term. People at that time didn't say they were living in feudalism. No, it's just how we describe it now. It's a relationship, like I said. There's a system they had. It had its roots actually in a Roman manorial system in the Frankish kingdom, where land was given in exchange for service. So the feudal system really became widespread in the Western Europe from the 11th century onwards. So, and the relationship, like I said, with the church and the Lord was very interesting. So the church, some would say the church structure mirrored the feudal system. It had a pope, followed by bishops and priests, and then the lay faithful. And in small communities like here at Holy Family, the local parish church often became the center of life. The church provided spiritual, it provided the sacraments, it provided education, it provided social support. It also helped really, I think, legitimize the feudal system through the doctrine, the quasi doctrine. It was never an official teaching of the church, but it was understood. The divine right of kings. It was a teaching that social positions were determined by God. Again, there's never a magisterial teaching of the church, but it was something that just had been around since, the Romans and before then. So it was just something that people just kind of understood. And yes, it did shape the life, the ethos, and the culture of the church, and even perhaps some magisterial teachings. So these small Christian communities like we have here in our community, these were what were called parishes. They were small parishes, and they were fundamental in fostering a sense of belonging and a shared identity among everyone in this community. This is their community. Here, the Dominicans, this is going to be a Dominican church. The Dominican fathers have moved in. So the Dominican spirit is really just going to imbibe this community here. And in these communities like this that were small, a lot of responsibilities for the local administration of sacraments and celebration of mass and observance of feast days were really the job of the priests that were there and also the families. So this is why you have a family assigned. All right. I like that bell. Sound better. So that's why a family was assigned here. So again, Manor Lords gets us right. It's not a priest that is assigned necessarily. It's a family who's really going to take care of this parish and everything that's involved with it. So we got an empty logging camp there, a saw pit there. We got a forester hut. The forester hut, he plants trees because we're tearing down trees, so we have to replant them. That's just something we would do according to Catholic moral theology. God has given us this land so that we can use it according to his will for our benefit, according to his will and inspiration. But we have to replenish what we take down. So we don't have enough people in this community yet for me to assign someone here, but hopefully we will soon. But again, let's take a look about where we'll build our new community. So I'm thinking, here's the church. Here's the steeple. Open the door and look at all the people. Now I'm thinking that we'll expand out this way. Which means that we may have to move our logging camps over here. So that may set us back. So maybe for now we'll build out this way. We'll build communities here. Further away from the church than I think I would like to be. But they would be closer to the manor. And I think people would also like to live close to the Lord. Alternatively, we can build out this way. Yeah, this is really a tough decision. We may want to think about invasions as well. We do not have a military yet. Invasions will really come from, I think, this side. And so if we can't defend ourselves, they're just going to burn and loot. So to protect the people, I think perhaps the best decision is to build out this way. And then we're going to span more around the church. So eventually, this whole outer circle of the cross will be filled with homes. And the church will be the center of life. And then the market is here. So that's how we want to build this community. So let's take a look to see what we can do here. Make sure we're not taking away any foraging. Okay. All right. So let me pause it for a moment as we build some roads. And I want really these roads to be built in a way that looks like they're like sun rays coming out of the cross. So you see what I'm saying? So it look like beams of light. So I gotta be careful not to really overlap what I'm doing here. I can't see the road. All right, so that's good because it looks like we're gonna, if we keep following the same pattern, we're gonna take things, hunting opportunities away. All right, so let's go ahead and fill in this land with some housing. Looks like I just don't have enough timber, so we gotta get somebody. So the saw pit is doing good. Oh, that logging camp doesn't have anyone in it. And all right, so let's do this. I don't want to move this logging camp because if I move the logging camp, then it's going to be far away from the saw pit, but not too far. So let me relocate it to here. So it'll still be on the same line, not too far. And I need to get rid of these trees anyway. right, let's do that. Let's get at the highest. And let's get some people assigned there. We are killing it with approval. See the church level 2, market food 72. Yeah, we should have a lot more people moving in soon. This is going terrific for our Holy Family Catholic community here. This is going excellent. See, once I'm able to raise taxes, I'll be able to afford mercenaries. So we may not have to have someone else is assigned. We just got a new family in. I don't know where they moved into. I can upgrade some of these homes as well. All right, let's get rid of the foraging. Has a little bit more left to go. And we're not going to make it this year. They're still in the eggs now. What do we have? Do I have enough berries? I got 71 berries. That should be enough to take us to the winter. So let me get this person reassigned for a moment to the hitching post.
You'll not find finer wares anywhere else. Why do I have to carry this alone?
All right, this should be the last piece of wood we need. All right, so that's good.
Leather.
So we just need to get a builder over here.
Gave the old ox a handful of months old crap. He spat it in my face and tried to carve me a new nipple. Poor quality, he said. Possibly.
Let's see if we can speed this up. Get another builder over here.
Oh, this is heavier than it looks.
Yeah, no, winter's approaching. Winter's approaching. So we got that finished. Let me get one person assigned there. Let's take a look at our firewood.
Why do I have to carry this alone?
Yeah, we should be okay through the winter. So I don't want to do any construction during the winter, but I do want to build up some planks. So I'll assign one here, take one from here, put him over to logging. And so this winter, we're just going to work on planks and we're going to work on firewood and see what happens. Let's go ahead and push through the winter, and then we will close out today's look at Manor Lords, because we really did accomplish our goal today. Our goal today was really just to build the church, and we did that. So let's get through the winter. Unless we got another family in. And I'll just assign them to the farmhouse for now. Oh, yeah, I forgot we do have some construction going on. I forgot about we're upgrading these houses. The more people that moves here, the more firewood we need. So, oh, awesome! Our settlement just reached a new level. So we got a new development point. So we pursued trade logistics, and so let's get more berries. We could pursue more technology with armor making, but really you could just buy these things if you had better trade routes. So that's why we did trade logistics first. But now let's work on food development. I think that'd be the best way to go. But let's go ahead and finish up our winter. Now let's give these plots some priority. Okay, we got another family. So it looks like we did good with our goal of just really just making it through the winter. We're keeping up with fuel. We're keeping up with food so far. What's really going to help this season if we can really get our farm off the ground. If we can get this off the ground, um, we'll be able to start producing a lot of bread and we will never starve again. So that's really the next goal for the community. And when we come back, we're going to have to build the manor house. And we're going to have to get our farming off the ground because it's really just tough to get through these winters on berries and chicken eggs. So our logging camp has chopped down a lot of trees. So we're gonna have to, and they're really going way past. They're really going way out there now. So the further away they get from logging camp, the harder it is to get logs back. So because they have to drag them themselves. So it just makes everything slower. So you want your logging camp to be closer to the trees. And so that really requires replanting trees. Because it is a limited resource, and as you see, our territory is really small. We can run out of trees very fast here if we don't replant. All right, we have 1 month of fuel left. I don't know what's going on over here. It may just be a resource issue. We're not getting firewood to the people. We have a lot of planks now, so let's get this guy reassigned. This family reassigned. So we have another firewood stall. So now, yeah, so it looks like that's what we needed. We just needed more help over there. Looks like there was more demand than supply, but we had a supply. I just wasn't getting to the demand. All right, we are almost through winter. And we made it with just a few tweaks of shifting around our resources. Like I said, it's hard when you have a small community like this. So we got more people moved in. So I'll just get somebody assigned to the hitching post because we do have things to build. So I really want to get more help into the farm, but that's just going to have to come later. But we really, really need. It's just tough. We're gonna have to sign some of the foraging again. We're gonna have to get a family. We're gonna have to get a family assigned over here to hunting again. The good news is that we can pluck double the berries now since we pursued that technology. But at the same time, that means that we have to increase the size of our storage. So it's really tough. The bigger a community gets, the more people you need. So the only thing we could really do is try to keep our approval high, keep our community attractive, and people will move here and help the Holy Family grow. But this is just a glimpse of what life in medieval times was like, and really trying to build a church or a community around your parish, dealing with bandits stealing your stuff. I mean, just look at this. I mean, we can't grow if we have just people just taking advantage of us.
Burn the house. That'll warn me.
So family's hungry. All right, it's time for us to stop. Like I said, our goals for next time we come in, next time we take a look at Manor, we want to get some more help to build, get this farming going. We want to finish up our plots here because we always want there to be available living space. Right now, we don't have any available living space. People are not going to move in if there's no place available. So we want to keep that a plus. So we want to build more homes here. We want to build. I can't set my taxes here. At least set the tithe at 10%. This is going to cost me some approval, but we have to raise money because we're going to need some mercenaries pretty soon. So, but I really wouldn't like to have a land tax until I'm back to close to 80%, but we just got to do what we have to do because no one's going to keep us safe but us. But we will see how this all turns out. Thank you for watching to Catholic Theologian Plays. Thanks for everyone who's in a live stream. Really appreciate you guys staying and watching. Let me know what you think in the comments about our direction with the community and maybe some things we can do better to really foster like a Catholic life here. And I'll be looking for your input as we continue because we're going to have to claim some territories. We're going to have to expand. And I'm definitely going to want your input on what we name these places. Once we get our Loris, once he get his affluence up to 1,000, we're going to have to claim some territories. So we'll probably expand here right to the center, probably to the left here. And give me some ideas what we should name these communities. This one is Holy Family. Give me some ideas. All right. Thanks a lot. And I'll see you in the next one.